God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, because what you are about to hear is not loud, not dramatic, and not meant to rush you. This message arrives quietly, the way truth often does, slipping past the noise of the world and resting gently in your heart. If you are here right now, it is not by coincidence. There are moments when emotions travel farther than words, when feelings cross distance without permission, and when two hearts remain connected even in silence. This message is for those moments. Take a breath, slow your thoughts, and allow yourself to feel instead of analyze, because sometimes the heart understands before the mind does. There are people who do not know how to express what they feel. They do not text, they do not call, they do not explain themselves clearly. Yet their emotions do not disappear just because they stay quiet. Love, care, and longing do not fade simply because someone chooses silence. In fact, sometimes silence becomes the loudest proof. What you are about to hear may explain feelings you have sensed but never confirmed, moments that felt strangely warm without a clear reason, and thoughts that appeared out of nowhere and stayed longer than expected. The first sign is this: they think about you during calm, ordinary moments. Not only when they are sad, not only when something reminds them of the past, but during peaceful times when nothing is missing on the surface. When someone misses you deeply, your presence lives in their quiet moments. You appear in their mind while they are doing normal things, resting, walking, or sitting alone with their thoughts. This kind of missing is not loud or dramatic. It is steady. It is gentle. It shows up as a feeling of comfort mixed with longing, a sense that something meaningful is connected to you even when life seems fine without explanation. The second sign is subtle but powerful: they feel emotionally connected to you without contact. There are people who do not reach out, yet they feel your emotions from a distance. They sense when you are overwhelmed, when you are peaceful, or when you are quietly hurting. This connection is not logical, and it does not need conversation to exist. It is an emotional awareness that cannot be forced or created intentionally. If someone misses you deeply, their heart stays tuned to yours even when nothing is said. They may not understand why they feel it, but they feel it anyway. The third sign is the strongest of all: they respect the space between you, even though it is difficult for them. Missing someone deeply does not always mean chasing or interrupting. Sometimes it means holding back, trusting timing, and allowing life to unfold naturally. When someone truly misses you, they often choose patience over pressure. They care enough not to disturb your journey, even when their heart wants closeness. This kind of missing is quiet, mature, and rooted in genuine emotion rather than impulse. If these signs resonate with you, understand this clearly: what you feel is not imagination. Emotional connections do not vanish just because circumstances change. They transform, they mature, and sometimes they wait. You may not hear words, but energy speaks. You may not see actions, but intention remains. Trust what your heart has been sensing, especially if it has been calm rather than chaotic. Peaceful emotions often carry the deepest truth. Before you leave, take a moment with yourself. If this message brought clarity, comfort, or understanding, let it settle instead of rushing away. There are moments when the soul senses something. The mind cannot explain. A quiet pull. A sudden memory. A name that rises in your heart without effort. You may think it is coincidence, but the truth is deeper than that. When someone truly misses you, their emotions do not stay confined to them alone. Feelings travel. Energy moves. Hearts speak even in silence. And if you are here right now, it is because you are already feeling the echo of someone thinking about you more than you imagine. Sometimes the strongest connections are not loud. They do not announce themselves with constant messages or dramatic confessions. Instead, they reveal themselves in subtle ways, through signs that feel gentle yet undeniable. You may have tried to ignore these feelings, telling yourself that you are overthinking, that it means nothing. But the soul does not lie. What you are sensing has a source, and it is connected to someone whose heart keeps returning to you, again and again. The first sign appears when memories surface without warning. You could be busy with your day, focused on something completely unrelated, and suddenly a moment involving that person enters your mind. Not just any memory, but one filled with emotion. A laugh. A look. A shared silence. These memories do not come randomly. They are triggered when someone is thinking about you with feeling. When their heart revisits you, it creates a ripple, and that ripple reaches you as an unexpected remembrance. This is not nostalgia alone. This is emotional resonance. You may notice that these memories arrive with a specific mood attached to them. Sometimes they feel warm and comforting. Other times they carry a softness that makes you pause. That emotional tone is important, because it. Second sign is subtle but powerful. They feel emotionally connected to you without contact. There are people who do not reach out, yet they feel your emotions from a distance. They sense when you are overwhelmed, when you are peaceful, or when you are quietly hurting. This connection is not logical, and it does not need conversation to exist. It is an emotional awareness that cannot be forced or created intentionally. If someone misses you deeply, their heart stays tuned to yours even when nothing is said. They may not understand why they feel it, but they feel it anyway. The third sign is the strongest of all. They respect the space between you, even though it is difficult for them. Missing someone deeply does not always mean chasing or interrupting. Sometimes it means holding back, trusting timing, and allowing life to unfold naturally. When someone truly misses you, they often choose patience over pressure. They care enough not to disturb your journey, even when their heart wants closeness. This kind of missing is quiet, mature, and rooted in genuine emotion rather than impulse. If these signs resonate with you, understand this clearly: what you feel is not imagination. Emotional connections do not vanish just because circumstances change. They transform, they mature, and sometimes they wait. You may not hear words, but energy speaks. You may not see actions, but intention remains. Trust what your heart has been sensing, especially if it has been calm rather than chaotic. Peaceful emotions often carry the deepest truth. Before you leave, take a moment with yourself. If this message brought clarity, comfort, or understanding, let it settle instead of rushing away. There are moments when the soul senses something. That intention has power. You might notice that during moments of doubt, a calm reassurance enters your heart. Or during moments of fear, you suddenly feel grounded. These experiences are not accidents. They are signs of emotional connection continuing beyond words. When someone truly misses you, their care does not stop just because communication has paused. It transforms into something quieter but deeper. And that depth is what you are feeling now. It is important to understand that missing someone does not always mean they will return immediately or express it openly. Some people carry their feelings privately. They reflect. They wait. They grow. But the heart does not forget what mattered. If someone misses you, it is because your presence left an imprint. You mattered to them in a way that went beyond surface interaction. And that kind of impact does not fade easily. You may be wondering who this person is. Sometimes you already know. Other times, clarity comes slowly. What matters right now is not rushing to label or confront the feeling, but acknowledging it. Trust what you sense. Pay attention to what your heart recognizes before your mind tries to explain it away. The fact that you are still connected emotionally means the story is not as finished as it once seemed. Take this moment to breathe and sit with what you are feeling. There is no need to force action. Awareness itself is powerful. When you recognize that someone misses you, you reclaim a part of yourself that may have felt unseen. You remember that your presence carries weight. That your absence is felt. That you are not as forgotten as you may have believed at times. This message did not reach you randomly. You were meant to pause here, to reflect, and to understand that emotional connections leave trails. And right now, one of those trails leads directly back to you. There is a reason your heart keeps returning to the same quiet feeling. Even when life moves forward, even when days pass and conversations change, something inside you pauses when a certain thought appears. This pause is not weakness. It is recognition. When someone misses you deeply, the connection does not fade into nothingness. It settles into a softer, more powerful form that lives beneath words. And this is where many people misunderstand love and connection. They believe silence means absence. In truth, silence often means depth. When someone truly misses you, they do not always know how to express it. Sometimes they are afraid. Sometimes they feel unworthy. Sometimes circumstances make speaking impossible. So instead of reaching out, they think. They remember. They replay moments in their mind, not to suffer, but to feel close again. And every time they do, that emotional energy searches for you. It is drawn to you naturally, because connection always seeks its source. You may notice that certain nights feel heavier than others. Not sad, just full. Thoughts linger longer. Sleep takes time. Your mind drifts without effort towards someone you did not consciously choose to think about. These moments are not random. They occur when another heart is active, when someone is missing you in the quiet hours, when emotions surface without distraction. Night carries truth because it removes noise. And in that stillness, emotional bonds speak more clearly. Another powerful indication appears in your dreams. Not every dream is symbolic, but recurring emotional dreams are meaningful. If someone appears in your dreams with clarity, not chaos, it often means the connection is alive in the subconscious realm. Dreams bypass logic. They operate where truth lives. When someone misses you deeply, their presence may visit you there, not because either of you planned it, but because unresolved emotion seeks completion. These dreams often leave a feeling behind, not confusion, but familiarity. As if nothing had changed. There is also a subtle pull toward growth that accompanies being missed. When someone holds you in their heart with sincerity, it often pushes you forward rather than holding you back. You may find yourself healing, gaining clarity, or understanding lessons you once struggled with. This happens because true emotional bonds are not meant to trap. They are meant to refine. Someone missing you does not always want you stuck in the past. Often, they want you strong, whole, and fulfilled, even if that fulfillment does not include them yet. You might also notice signs through synchronicity. Songs that remind you of them appear unexpectedly. Words, names, or situations repeat themselves in small but noticeable ways. These moments are not coincidences. They are alignment. When two people remain emotionally connected, the world reflects that connection through patterns. These patterns are gentle reminders that something unfinished still exists between you, not necessarily unfinished in action, but unfinished in understanding. What many people do not realize is that missing someone is not only about longing. It is also about respect. When someone misses you, it means you changed them in some way. You left a mark that could not be erased. Your presence taught them something about themselves, about love, about vulnerability, about truth. And lessons like that do not disappear just because time passes. They mature. They deepen. They wait. You may question why, if they miss you, they have not reached out. The answer is not always simple. Missing someone does not automatically mean readiness. Some people need time to grow into the version of themselves that can meet you without fear. Others are working through guilt, regret, or confusion. Silence, in these cases, is not rejection. It is processing. And processing takes courage. There is also an energetic shift that happens when someone misses you more than you realize. You may feel moments of confidence rising unexpectedly. A quiet assurance that you matter. This is not ego. This is truth settling in. When someone holds you in their heart, it reinforces your value at a level deeper than affirmation. You feel it without needing proof. And once you feel it, you stop chasing validation elsewhere. It is important to understand that this message is not about waiting or hoping blindly. It is about awareness. Knowing that you are missed changes how you carry yourself. You stop shrinking. You stop doubting your worth. You stop believing the story that you were easily forgotten. Instead, you begin to move with calm strength, knowing that your absence created space that was felt. Sometimes, the purpose of being missed is not reunion, but realization. Realizing your impact. Realizing your depth. Realizing that love does not always show up loudly, but it always shows up truthfully. And when someone misses you deeply, that truth remains, even if the path forward is still unfolding. Stay present with this understanding. Let it ground you rather than rush you. What is meant to align will do so in the right time, in the right way, with clarity instead of confusion. For now, knowing that someone misses you more than you realize is enough. It is a reminder that you mattered, that you still matter, and that genuine connections never disappear, they transform. There comes a moment when understanding replaces uncertainty. Not loudly, not suddenly, but gently, like light filling a room you didn't realize was dark. If you have stayed with this message until now, it is because something inside you already knew there was more beneath the surface. Missing is not weakness. It is recognition. And being missed is not coincidence. It is consequence. A consequence of presence, of depth, of the kind of connection that does not disappear just because time moves forward. When someone misses you deeply, their life subtly reorganizes itself around the absence. You forward. You begin to release resentment. You stop replaying arguments. You remember the essence rather than the conflict. That shift happens because the bond was real enough to outgrow pain. Another sign that someone misses you more than you realize is that they protect the memory of you. Even if they speak little, even if they pretend they've moved on, they do not allow others to diminish what you meant. In their private moments, your name is handled carefully. Your role in their life is not rewritten as a mistake. It is honored as a chapter that shaped them. People only protect what mattered. Indifference does not require defense. Love does. There is also a quiet accountability that appears when someone misses you. They reflect. They see where they fell short. They understand conversations differently now. Words you once said suddenly make sense. Lessons you tried to explain finally land. This reflection is painful, but it is also sacred. It means your presence planted seeds that could only grow after distance. Sometimes understanding needs space. And sometimes love needs silence to mature into wisdom. You might wonder whether they will ever say it out loud. Whether they will ever reach across the gap and admit how deeply you affected them. That outcome is not guaranteed. But the impact already exists, regardless of confession. Not every truth needs to be spoken to be real. Some truths live in changed behavior, in quieter hearts, in softer judgments. And sometimes, the purpose of being missed is not reunion, it is resolution. Resolution does not always mean closure with another person. Often, it means closure within yourself. It means knowing you were not invisible. It means understanding that your love was not misplaced. It means realizing that even if the story did not continue the way you hoped, it mattered exactly as it was. And when you reach that realization, you stop asking whether someone misses you. You begin to ask how you want to be loved next. This is where your power returns fully to you. Being missed does not make you wait. It frees you. It reminds you that you are capable of creating connection that leaves a mark. That kind of capacity is rare. And once you know you have it, you no longer settle for shallow bonds or half-present hearts. You move differently. You choose differently. You love with clarity instead of fear. If this message has stayed with you, if it felt like it was speaking directly to something quiet inside you, take that as confirmation. Not that you should go searching for someone, but that you should honor what you carry. You were someone worth missing. And people who are worth missing are also worth meeting again, in new forms, new chapters, and new alignments that reflect growth rather than longing. Now pause for a moment and notice how you feel. Not rushed. Not anxious. Just aware. That awareness is the true ending of this message. Because when awareness arrives, confusion leaves. And when confusion leaves, your path becomes clearer. You do not need to chase signs anymore. You become the sign. If this message resonated with you, show your presence. Like this video to anchor the energy you felt. Comment what connected with you most. Even one word is enough. Share this with someone who may need clarity today. And subscribe for more messages that speak to the heart, not the noise. Stay aware. Stay grounded. And trust the connections that find you when the timing is right.